Being in the position that I'm in and everybody that I tell my story to, they always look at me and are impressed by my character and the fact that I legitimately took a risk on myself to start a home business. It's not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of question marks surrounding that decision. And there were a lot of question marks surrounding my decision to quit retail and quit a job that I knew I had laid out in front of me for the risky waters and an uncertainty with YouTube. For years, I've heard people tell me you can't make YouTube a full-time job. You can't make YouTube a full-time job until you achieve 500,000 to 1 million subscribers. I said, fuck that. I'm going to take a chance on myself because how bad could it be? How bad could it be? I needed to get myself out of this emptiness that I was feeling. I needed to get myself happy. I needed to get back on the right track. I felt everything in my life had a negative stigma attached to it because I was working a job that I fucking hated, that I had to wake up for every single morning, that I was late for, that I was stuck in traffic for, to ultimately be disrespected by everybody that I spoke to every single day, including the people that I was working for. I wasn't doing what I was passionate about. I didn't want to be a jeweler. I didn't want to be a watch connoisseur or a watch enthusiast or an expert in fine jewelry. I don't give a shit if your necklace broke. I don't give a fuck if you got diamonds or jewels missing from your jewelry. I didn't care. Because I knew deep down in my heart, in my soul, I was doing something that I was not passionate about. And everybody that I spoke to, they would see that. They would see that. Everything in my life suffered. Relationships suffered. Time with my family taken away. My diet suffered. I wasn't eating, or I was eating junk food, or I was just skating by getting fast food because I was too tired to fucking cook. Falling asleep early during Monday Night Raw when all I wanted to do was sit here and talk about wrestling. When all I wanted to do was get up during the day and fucking go to the gym to make myself feel good. Finding time to do laundry, finding time to go to the supermarket, leaving my kittens at home, just unsupervised, lonely, made me feel like shit. Then when I finally took a chance on myself, I can't even begin to tell you how the weight was lifted off my shoulders. When I got compliments of, JD, you're doing an amazing job, and I got emails pouring in how I bring smiles to people's faces, how I've pulled people from depression, how I've helped people deal with personal issues, whether it's family or sickness, anything. You guys reached out to me and said, JD, I pretty much listen to you every week. You're a part of my daily routine. You're a part of my family. Some people considering me, the son that they've never had, or they look at me like a son and a part of their family. People telling me that they're going to chemo and that I and my show get them through the rigorous routine of chemotherapy. Shit that I can't even begin to explain to you guys. When all I do is show you my passion for the industry and the sport that I love. And everybody I tell my story to, man, they're always impressed. Now, this may be because I'm a humble individual. This may be because I really don't see the grandiose theme behind it, but I just did what I had to do. I had to find myself the happiness that I so desperately seeked out. And a lot of people don't know what I went through to get where I am today. And certain individuals make fun of me about, protecting my brand or running my business, because that's what YouTube is. It's a business. I did not leave my job and I did not quit on my own terms when they repeatedly asked me to come back. You don't know how good it felt to tell them no. I don't need you. Everything that I'm doing on my own. I'm my own boss. I make my own schedule. The smile on my dad's face when I went to go buy the new car. How proud he is of me to see me where I was compared to where I am now. My dad's face lit up when I drove the car over to his house just a couple weeks ago, and he was outside walking the dog, and he comes back to the house, walks by the car parked in the street. He looks at me, he's like, man, those seats are fucking beautiful. That car looks like a fucking beast. My dad's more happy about the car than I am. And that was all achieved by hard work. And to see how proud he is of me, it's explainable. It's indescribable. It feels great. What I'm trying to tell you guys is never be afraid to take a chance on yourself. And I don't give a fuck who pokes fun at me about my brand or my business. This is exactly what YouTube is. This is a business. I didn't leave my job and tell them no to sit home and fucking play video games all day. I didn't tell them no to sit here in my fucking pajamas and fucking drink coffee all day long and pretend like I have some job at home. No, this is a fucking business, motherfucker. This is my livelihood. This is my life. I'm not affording fucking beautiful cars, and hopefully the next step is to get the fuck out of this dump by playing video games all day. No. My mentality is to take over the fucking world 1 month at a time. The passion that I set forth when I do House of Glory commentary. The fucking passion and the hard work that I put into these podcasts. The days where I wake up and I don't feel like doing anything and I push through to fucking give you guys the very best that I could possibly give you. It's all worth it. The t-shirts, the mentality of me wanting to be on the level of a Sam Roberts, to get to Sirius, to carve my path as a commentator in the wrestling industry, wanting to be sought out by whomever is listening to me, to move on up, to get better each and every week, each and every month. That's what I want to do. This is not fun and games. This is a fucking business. The fact that I was able to tell these people no is the greatest feeling in the entire world. I can only imagine what Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, and everybody affiliated with the Bullet Club is thinking today, after All In sold out in 29 minutes. 29 minutes on Mother's Day. All In at Hoffman Estates in Chicago at the Sears Center. Sold out in 29 minutes. Dave Meltzer foolishly said, I doubt that they would be able to sell 10,000 tickets. I think the Bullet Club honestly shortchanged themselves and didn't give themselves enough credit. After seeing how the event sold out in 29 minutes, I immediately thought, well, these guys undersold themselves. They could have probably sold out the fucking United Center. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, Bullet Club, they have pretty much said, you don't need the big corporate machine in Stamford, Connecticut. There's a saying, if you could make it in New York, you could make it anywhere. Same thing would apply in WWE. If you make it in WWE, you could ultimately make it anywhere in the business because you already have that foundation built for you. Cody Rhodes is the only one in the Bullet Club that has even seen the light of day in WWE, and he was stuck in mid-card purgatory and didn't get anywhere, and he didn't go where he wanted to go. They constantly held him down, and he had a position merely based because of who his father was and who his family was. He didn't want to live in the shadow of his father. What Cody Rhodes is doing is one of the most respectable, honorable things that anyone could ever do. He paved his own path. He's creating his own legacy. God knows that his father's looking down on him, fucking smiling from ear to ear after yesterday's news. Everybody wants to be in the WWE. Everybody will eventually end up in the WWE because people in this industry want to achieve what it is to main event a WrestleMania. You're not in this business, you're not in this industry unless you want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Everybody wants that. But what they've done is they've taken a chance on themselves. They have showed everybody that you don't need to be in the WWE. The WWE came knocking on their door tomorrow. They could say no and be better off than the majority of that roster employed by WWE now. How respectable it is for the Bullet Club to be where they are now without the power of WWE, the passion, the love for this business, the hard work that they have put in to get where they are now and get their names out there where these guys are bigger than the majority of the roster in WWE, in the world of professional wrestling. Everybody knows who Bullet Club is. Everybody. In the world of professional wrestling. I mean, you don't have Funko Pops made for you if you're not a mainstream fucking attraction. They are the only non-sanctioned WWE wrestlers given their own Funko Pop. Hot topic. People wearing t-shirts. The majority of the t-shirts you see at an NXT show or in a WWE show. Every single week, without fail, a Bullet Club shirt, a Cody Rhodes shirt, a Villain Club shirt. Every week, you'll see somebody wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt. The fact that they could say no to WWE at any given time is an unbelievable feeling. And to know that they would be absolutely fucking perfect, okay in life to say no to WWE, that has to fucking feel like the greatest feeling ever, man. And as a fan of professional wrestling, when people say, oh, wrestling's dead, wrestling is dead. Wrestling isn't as popular as it was when it was the Austins and the Rocks and the Mankinds and the Undertakers and the Attitude Era, the Angles, right? All that shit. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. But wrestling is far from being dead. Wrestling right now has a new lease on life. Wrestling now, especially on the independent circuit, is as hot as it could ever be. And to be a fan in the midst of this entirety that is the independent scene, man, I can't be any more proud. I can't be any more proud. I'm excited to be a part of this. I can't wait to see what comes of all of this. I can't wait to see if this becomes a yearly thing with the Bullet Club. Because you know next year they're selling out the United Center. If this show has the card to back it up, if they do it in Chicago again, they'll be able to sell 15,000, 20,000 seats. Easy. It's such a great feeling to be in business for yourself and know that you don't need the mainstream or the WWE to be successful. And by that account, man, you have to respect the work ethic alone from the Bullet Club. It makes me wonder what these guys are going to bring to the WWE, if any of them land in the WWE. It would really be something to think about, man. Would this be... I wouldn't say it would be a new attitude era, but imagine the Bullet Club collectively coming to the WWE, how big it would be. It would literally be one of the biggest moments in the history of professional wrestling at this point. That's how big these guys are. And it's exciting to see, man. And I'm excited to say that I myself, courtesy of Matt from Wrestle Rumble, is all in. And I'll be in Chicago. I got my tickets. After yesterday, I was afraid I wasn't going to get my tickets because I was relying on him to get the tickets for me because he wanted to go, and I'm going to go with him. And he got the tickets, surprised me with an email this morning, and I am officially all in. I couldn't even access the website yesterday, and they were gone in 30 minutes. So I was a little disappointed yesterday. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I got my tickets for All In. I'll be in Chicago. It's going to be a great time, and I can officially say that I'm all in. But the work ethic of the Bullet Club, man, is absolutely unprecedented, and it is to be respected 100%. I absolutely love it, man, and it's a story that, is going to be with them for a lifetime. Something that they're going to tell their kids about. And it's going to be a great day, a great night for the Bullet Club. WWE clearly has eyes on this. I'm sure they will have eyes on this. If this doesn't open eyes in WWE, man, I would be genuinely shocked and surprised. This is a great fucking year for the indie scene, man. I can't wait to see what happens, and I'm officially all in with the Bullet Club in Chicago that weekend. Man, what a fucking weekend, man. What a weekend. And this is part 3. I'm sorry I didn't get part 3 out for you guys yesterday, but understandably so, which many of you understood. Mother's Day yesterday, I spent all day with my mom. My brother Michael came to visit from Atlanta. He surprised my mom with a visit this Mother's Day weekend, so we hung out all together as a family. Didn't really feel like coming back home to simply record a part 3, so you guys are getting a part 3 on a Monday, right before we get to Monday Night Raw tonight. I got a ton of news we're going to go over today on part 3, including the late-breaking, literally 20 minutes ago, news on Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax, which I'm assuming will be for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. It has just been announced. I'll give you my thoughts on this because people are causing a shitstorm all over social media already because of Ronda Rousey getting a title shot, presumably. I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet or not. We might hear something on Monday Night Raw, but Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax confirmed for Money in the Bank. The challenge has been laid forth by Nia Jax herself. Ronda Rousey accepted, and we will discuss why I think it's something that we should not really be concerned with, because I know you guys are thinking the same thing that I am thinking, so I'm going to try and ease your pain just a little bit right here on episode 221, part number 3 for your post-Mother's Day edition of Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? Ooh, what is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. Literally, man, I just checked my Twitter. My best friend's texting me, why, and getting texts from other people, why. People don't understand why Nia Jax is defending the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank against Ronda Rousey. Boy, Ronda Rousey getting a title shot for literally doing nothing. Here we go again. Look at it this way, people. Look at it this way. If she wins the title for literally doing nothing, can it be any worse than what we're getting now? Seriously, ask yourself that question. Can it be worse than what we are getting now? I know a lot of people, and the majority of the people that speak to me on the basis of professional wrestling are unhappy and not pleased at all with the direction of the women's divisions on both shows and both champions on Raw and SmackDown. What is there to complain about if Ronda Rousey wins the title? Nothing. At least she would be a legitimate, credible threat to anyone who is challenging for the Raw Women's Championship. Maybe Ronda Rousey needs to have the title because the title is worthless at this point. But, here's the big but, B-U-T, is Ronda going to win the title? Why did WWE put the title on Nia Jax only to have her embarrassed and squashed by Ronda Rousey? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to try and make this match competitive. I really don't understand how it could be, because no matter what size you are, going in there against Ronda Rousey, I'm sure she could fucking break anyone in half. I mean, she manhandled Triple H, for Christ's sakes. So you can imagine what she's going to do to Nia Jax. But I don't think anyone should be overly concerned with Ronda Rousey winning the title. If WWE has any smarts, they would try to avoid any more backlash. I know that their ultimate goal is to get the title on Ronda Rousey, but they are telling the story, or at least they have told the story so far, of Ronda Rousey befriending Natty Neidhart, Natalya. Why would they tell that story if they're just going to abandon that and not come back and visit that at some point? Now, Ronda hasn't been on Monday Night Raw. She has other obligations. She's doing, what she needs to do, PR, movies, whatever the case may be. Natty hasn't been on TV because of this storyline injury that she suffered at the hands of Mickie James, and Ronda came in and tried to save the day a couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw. What if this is the start of Ronda's major program? Now, Money in the Bank, or first major program. Now, Money in the Bank is going to be on par with the Royal Rumbles and the WrestleManias of the year. They're making Money in the Bank a must-see pay-per-view. It's now a part of the Big Four. Now we have the Big Five. Money in the Bank is now a part of those major pay-per-views that we see in the WWE. They want to make it big. And the fact that Brock Lesnar is not going to be defending the Universal Championship, they figured, you know what, let's get Ronda in a major match so that we can make waves and headlines that weekend and have her challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. But there's the story of Natalya. It would make no sense whatsoever if Natalya did not interfere in this match. If she just let Ronda win the title. There's a storyline there. Ronda is not deserving of a title shot by any stretch of the imagination at all. So just based on that aspect alone, it is fucking pathetic to even think about. And that alone makes the title worthless. Like, what are these women fighting for? If I'm a woman in the women's division on Monday Night Raw and Ronda's getting a title shot for literally doing nothing, I'm pissed. Now, they have the story there of Natalya training Ronda, right? She trained Ronda. She's helping Ronda get on her feet. Ronda's getting all the attention. Natty is being sideswiped. Natty trained Ronda, but Natty ain't getting any praise or thanks for it. Ronda is where she is today because of the help of Natalya Neidhart. If I'm booking this match, I'm screwing over Ronda. I'm having Natty finish this match. I'm having Natty help Nia Jax win this match. Now, you don't want to beat Ronda. You don't want to beat Ronda at all. I think that would be fucking stupid. Ronda should not be losing, period. Until Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, presumably at WrestleMania 35 next year. I would have Natalya mistakenly do something to cause Ronda the title at Money in the Bank. Do something out of sheer jealousy. Do something that pretty much states, I need the attention. I deserve the attention. Ronda's getting shots at the title and all the attention, all the headlines. Where the fuck is my attention? That's the story there. So, if WWE wants to continue selling this storyline and have this be Ronda's first big feud, because right now it has no meaning. It has no meaning right now. You got to give Natty a reason to turn heel. You got to give Natty a reason to betray Ronda. What better way than Ronda getting an undeserved title shot, stealing the spotlight from everybody, and Natty is the first to step up to the plate and say, fuck this shit. This is not what we wanted. This is what we were afraid of. That's the story that's going to be told there. So I think everybody jumping on the, oh my God, the world is ending fucking bandwagon. Just calm down a little bit. So there's two positives here, and I'm taking a different perspective here. JD's trying to be overly positive and look at things from the outside looking in. Wow. I'm not all negative. If Ronda wins the title and there's no interference, I think that's a mistake, but it can't be worse than what we're getting now, because Naya holding the title is fucking worthless. It's absolutely worthless. And I don't think Ronda is going to be the champion for the remainder of the year. I don't think it's her time, and I think more work needs to be done. With Natty, if they go that route, it sets up Ronda's first big program, her first big singles win, and then you can move her on to maybe one more opponent and then a shot at capturing the title. So I'm trying to look at it from both perspectives. So I think everybody now fucking popping a blood vessel or upset about this match being made for Money in the Bank, let's calm down a little bit and look at it from all angles. If she wins, then it's going to be better than what we're getting now. If she doesn't win, you got the Natty wild card there to hopefully interject itself into this match and start Ronda's first major program. Then she could go on to win the title. So let's just take it easy and just kind of ease into this and see where WWE goes. Do I have faith in WWE doing the right thing? Of course I don't. I never give these people the benefit of the doubt ever, because WWE is incapable of booking good television. This is the truth. They don't have a single fucking brain and a single working pen between all 30 of them. However many writers there are, including fucking the old man. So I'm not going to worry about this. People tweeting me like it's the fucking end of the world, some world fucking crisis going on. Who gives a fuck? Really, who cares? WWE's putting Ronda on the show because it's one of the big five and they want to get the Money in the Bank pay-per-view out there. They want to get the headlines. No better way to do that with Brock Lesnar being off the card than with Ronda on it. Simple as that. Business. Calm down. Anyway, this is off the script. 221. Part number 3 for your post-Mother's Day, man. It's May 14th, 2018. I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. I did. I spent all day with my family yesterday. My brother, surprisingly, I knew it in advance. I was told to keep it a secret from my mom. But he came on Friday, and he spent the weekend with us, which is great. He moved down and relocated to Atlanta to do some research studies down there, chemistry research. So he's working out of Emory College right now down in Atlanta. And he came up for the weekend. My mom made a big dinner. We all spent time together. I got my mom her favorite flowers for Mother's Day, and we just spent time together. It was sad to see him go, but he'll be back this summer again. Hopefully when I do my SummerSlam meet and greets, he'll be there. So I told him, come on up. We'll be doing some big SummerSlam stuff, so hopefully he'll be around. But he went, and he is back in Atlanta now, and it was just a nice weekend. So I hope you guys had the same, man. I hope you guys had a nice weekend with your mothers, and you showed your mothers the appreciation that they deserve, because there's no more important person in your life than your mother. So I hope you guys had a great day. Thoughts go out to Jason Solomonster. He went through a hardship of losing his mother this year, just a couple of weeks ago, and I know he tweeted on Sunday that this is the first Mother's Day that he's going to be without his mother. So I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Jason. I know I sent him a tweet personally yesterday saying that my thoughts are with him, so shout out to him. He did a great sound off yesterday on Mother's Day, and he said he had a nice time. He visited her, and everything was peaceful. So shout out to Jason, and I hope he's doing well with everything that's going on in his life there. But I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day, as always, and you showed your mothers the appreciation that they so deserve. We don't really need a day to show love to Mother's Day. It's a Hallmark fucking holiday, but, you could show your mom love every day of the year. You don't need a day to celebrate the love of your mother. You should love your mother, 1,000% every fucking day. So, regardless of that, I hope you guys had a good day and you treated your moms well. I do want to make one mention, man. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to be nitpicky here, but, we got the new t-shirt out. We got the new t-shirt out here. We got the Roman Empire shirt. Now, I figured, we've sold a few. We've sold a few, but I honestly thought that it would be a little bit better, man. I thought this would be on par with the Negan shirt. Or I thought this would be on par with the They Do It for Roman shirt with the fucking Bucky Beaver on it. That one did phenomenal. I don't know what's going on with this one, man. I think we're slacking on the sales here. I got this shirt specifically made for you guys because we always say Roman is not over. I mean, if you guys were at the Internet Darlings last year in Orlando and I was on stage, every time the question of Roman Reigns came up, I issued the sentiment of Roman is not over. He's not the chosen one. So you guys should be flocking to Barbershop Window to get this shirt. And you're going to get 20% off the fucking shirt. Where the fuck is everybody, man? Sales are kind of slowed with this one. So if you guys want a great looking t-shirt, especially if you're going to Money in the Bank, if you're going to All In, if you're going to Extreme Rules, SummerSlam, there's no better shirt than this one right here, man. And his empire is still not over. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use coupon code BSHOP20 to save 20% off all of your orders, man. So make sure you guys go and do that, please. It's a great way to support the show. Also, a great way to support the show, man, is Harry's. Harry's.com/script. You guys can get the best shave of your life. And you're going to get a free trial to try it out and see what I mean, man. You're going to get a razor blade, razor handle, razor blade protective case, and the foaming shave gel, which soothes and hydrates, and it smells fantastic, according to you guys. Harry's, man, free trial. All you guys got to do is pay shipping and handling. That's harrys.com/script. Also, audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys have already signed up, you can always tell a friend or a family member, a colleague or a classmate, your girlfriend's folks, their relatives, man. Word of mouth is the best way to go if you guys have signed up for this already. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys sign up. You got 30 days free of Audible service, and that includes one free audiobook of your choice. These are just 5 of the books you can get for free, and then you got a catalog of 190,000 choices on their website, man, and you guys can get to cancel it in the 30 days and keep your audiobook for free. You cannot beat that. And you're supporting the show in the process. audibletrial.com/offthescript, man. Also, follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. We are nearing 92,300 subscribers, so I would love to get to 93. It seems like the subscriber number has slowed down just a little bit because this is a dead period for WWE, and business fluctuates when it's at its most high. We usually are kicking ass, and now we slow down just like the product is slowing down after WrestleMania. So, again, if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Off the Script every single weekend. News and reviews throughout the week. Video game content throughout the week. So, you guys are fully loaded on content all week long. So that's JD from NY206 on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast in another way, you guys can certainly do that through Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. I don't know where my notes went. I had them on my screen. So let me access my notes here. I got quite a bit of news on this Monday, man. So we're going to talk about a few things before we get into the major stories here. I know, and no, my notepad is not working. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Computer issues already. You see, I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. I can't even access my fucking notepad. All right, man, we got my computer to work. I got my notepad here. I don't know what the hell happened. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, I had to do some editing. I had to cut and then transition. So all is good, man. Let's continue on with part 3 of Off the Script here for your Mondays. I'm going to start off with this story, man. This is a very interesting story. Since I mentioned how Roman has no balls or voice and is complacent, there's a news article that I seen floating around today where Roman Reigns said he's willing to turn heel to face one WWE superstar in particular. Now, no matter what you think of Roman Reigns, you know, we all have our opinion. You hate him, you love him, you want him to stay a babyface, you want him to be a heel. You guys know the majority of the audience wants Roman to be cast in a role that suits his reaction. Almost as if WWE should embrace the hate for Roman Reigns. Now, online petitions, negative reactions, social media crucifixion, fans walking out of backlash. That wasn't enough for the WWE to alter their plans for Roman Reigns. One way or another, their long-term plan is to have the fans finally embrace Roman. Whether that means they need to turn him heel first before another face turn down the road, that remains to be seen. WWE did shoot themselves in the foot when booking him in the main event of WrestleMania 34 against Lesnar for the Universal Championship, living in the hope that New Orleans would be the city Reigns is coronated. Brock Lesnar ended up leaving with his title and repeated the feat in Saudi Arabia at the greatest Royal Rumble. Now Reigns is feuding with Jinder Mahal, with fans convinced that this is being done so the fans can use their hatred towards the modern-day Maharaja, and WWE hopes that, in turn, that's going to get Roman cheered. So I don't know if that's going to work. Highly doubt that would work at all. That's going to make Jinder the most over guy on that card if it does happen at Money in the Bank. Now, Give Me Sport caught up with Reigns during WWE's European tour ahead of Monday Night Raw tonight. Reigns finally addressed the heel turn rumors and highlighted the WWE that they should put him with one man if they want him to be an antagonist. And that man is Daniel Bryan. The tweet reads from Give Me Sport about Roman Reigns, and I quote, "Very interesting comments for Reigns on Daniel Bryan. He says, Reigns, you want me to turn heel? Put me with Daniel Bryan." Then he went on to say Bryan is one of the best ever to step foot inside a WWE ring. It does seem that WWE would not be on board with that right now, especially since Daniel Bryan's on SmackDown Live. But if they had a match before and WWE built up the fact that Daniel Bryan came back and Roman was trying to be positioned as the guy and it didn't turn out that way because of Daniel Bryan, a storyline is there for them to go down and visit, and it would be absolutely epic. And the foundation would be Roman Reigns is the guy, right, who failed at every opportunity that WWE gave him. And Daniel Bryan is back, and he took the position that was his originally after winning the world title at WrestleMania 30, ultimately to be retired. And Reigns kind of was put in the position to be that guy, never accumulated to anything. Bryan is back, and he took that spotlight from Roman Reigns again. They could visit the fact that Reigns was supposed to be the guy during Bryan's run. Bryan was the guy everybody wanted. Reigns was second fiddle. Now that Bryan is back again, Reigns is second fiddle once again in 2018. It could be this modern era's Hogan versus Warrior at WrestleMania 6. Can you imagine the fucking volcanic emotion that would be into that match if Reigns is a heel and Bryan is a babyface? My goodness, man. That is fucking television that I think everyone would be invested in. It would split the audience. It would be fucking all over social media. Bryan would be the over babyface no matter where he is. Reigns could embrace the hate and finally be a full-time heel. It's great. Now, I don't necessarily think you need Bryan to turn Roman heel. WWE could do that right now. They just refuse to. But if he is a heel, then I would love to see. I mean heel, like legitimately playing the whole character, doing the whole nine. If he is legitimately a heel, I would love to see a heel Roman versus a babyface Daniel Bryan, man. That is television that I would definitely find myself emotionally invested in. So I'm glad Reigns realizes it. It's up to WWE to pull the trigger, man. Reigns needs to be a heel. I don't think you necessarily need Bryan, but it needs to be done regardless. It needs to be done regardless with Roman Reigns. Shane McMahon announced today as well, speaking of what happened today before Monday Night Raw, Shane McMahon, before Monday Night Raw, getting ready for SmackDown Live in London, announced that there will be a definitive and clear victor at Money in the Bank. So he's making AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship official at Money in the Bank. I am assuming we are going to get some type of stipulation here. In the back of my mind, I think WWE is fucking the fans and trolling the fans. What other match can they turn this into stipulation-wise to get a no contest? We could get a last man standing match, and both men don't make the 10 count. We could get a steel cage match, and both guys would escape the cage with both of their feet simultaneously hitting the floor. We could get a ladder match, and all of a sudden, both men are reaching for the belt, and they both grab it and tear it down at the same time, leading to a tug of war. I have a feeling WWE is going down this road. Now, I stated at the Greatest Royal Rumble in my review, I would like to see these guys fight the remainder of the year. I thought whatever they did at the Greatest Royal Rumble was better than what they did at WrestleMania. But if WWE is giving us a no contest at Backlash and it just kind of just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, you know, how many times can we see this? And how are the fans going to continue to be invested if WWE's it's coming off as like a mockery? It's like they're fucking the fans. They're trolling the fans. And it doesn't seem genuine. Now, I understand that they want to keep this going, but how many times? How many times can Nakamura legitimately get a title shot? So that's why I thought, maybe WWE's playing with the fans' emotions here and kind of fucking the fans over. What other stipulations can they add to have this continue on until SummerSlam? But WWE is giving us the match again at Money in the Bank. Whether it is a TLC match, I don't know. Or some type of ladder match, I hope not. Some people have brought the idea of a last man standing. Maybe an Iron Man match. I'd like to see an Iron Man match, man. I'd like to see these guys, and not the modern day Iron Man match. I know they'll probably do it 30 minutes. If you're going to do a 30-minute Iron Man match, I'd rather see a last man standing match. When I think of Iron Man matches, I think of a full hour. That's an Iron Man match. And Styles and Nakamura, they could do 30 minutes in their fucking sleep. That's not an Iron Man match. So if that's the case, I'd rather see a last man standing match. But then the idea is, and it's open up to a fuck finish. Both men not getting to their feet at the 10 count. But if I was to choose one, I'd like to see these guys go balls to the wall in an Iron Man match. Let them go out there, show the world what these fucking guys can do. Because I feel like we've been shortchanged with this feud. I feel like WWE has genuinely fucked up what everybody was hoping for and anticipating for. A fucking showdown of two elites here, and it hasn't gone anywhere. This entire feud's been built off Nutcrackamura. Low blowing everybody. If that's the best you got, I don't want to see what's to come. So Shane McMahon has made it official. It's Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. We reported on Off the Script yesterday. Or not yesterday. Yesterday was Mother's Day. On Saturday. Part 2. That Big Cass was in hot water with WWE because he went off script. Or he went off the script, no pun intended. Because he wanted to do a little bit more in that post-match, or in that beatdown segment on the Go Home show for Backlash, where he had the small person, and he was imitating Daniel Bryan. Big Cass laid a big boot on him, and then he mounted him, and then started to ground and pound him, punch away. He went to Vince McMahon, and he went to creative or the producer or management, and everybody shot him down. He wanted to do more to get more heel heat on him before his eventual match with Daniel Bryan. Everybody turned him down. They wanted the big boot, and they wanted it to end right there. So Big Cass kind of went over everybody's head after everybody told him no. He did what he wanted to do anyway, and now apparently he's in hot water, as reported by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet. He lost to Daniel Bryan at Backlash. He wasn't featured on SmackDown Live on Tuesday. And a lot of people now are even wondering if Big Cass was supposed to beat Daniel Bryan on SmackDown to get into Money in the Bank over Rusev. Because a lot of people are saying that Rusev and his win over Daniel Bryan literally came out of nowhere. So a lot of people are trying to figure this one out. Was it Big Cass who was supposed to beat Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live and be featured in the main event? We don't know. We may never know. But apparently Big Cass is in hot water. But Big Cass and Daniel Bryan is still green-lighted, even though Big Cass reportedly has backstage heat. Now, the poor Backlash pay-per-view that it was god-awful. And both Cass and Bryan having a very, very subpar match. Terrible match. And it saw Big Cass tap out to the S-Lock. He had a post-match beatdown on Daniel Bryan. Since then, it's been revealed that the possible reason why Big Cass tapped out, like I said, was because he didn't appear on the following episode of SmackDown Live, and it's because he got backstage heat for a poor decision he went into business on, and he went against Vince McMahon's orders. Now, I appreciate Big Cass wanting to do more. He's hungry. He wants to do more. You know, he's one of those guys that Vince McMahon talks about that doesn't step up and grab the brass ring. Everybody's complacent. Big Cass didn't want to be complacent in this, but, you know, when your boss tells you no, when Vince McMahon tells you no, flat out, directly, coming from his mouth, then it's a fucking no. And I'm assuming, you know, that was a very, very poor judgment call on Big Cass's part, because I'm sure if you wanted to do something in a different situation, you know, it would have probably paid off better for him. He wanted to do a post-match beatdown on a small person to get heat on himself going into a match with Daniel Bryan. If that's what you wanted to go over everybody's head for, you know, you look like a dummy. You literally look like a dummy. You know, Solomonster said it best on his show Sunday. Pick your fucking battles, man. Pick your fucking spots better. If that's what you're going to go over everyone's head for, you're a fucking idiot. You know, but I respect the fact that he wanted to do more. I respect the fact that he gives a shit enough about his character and direction that he wants to do more. More people should be like that, but when your boss tells you no, if Vince McMahon tells you no, then it's fucking no. Now, during a segment with the little person impersonating Daniel Bryan, the plan was simply for Big Cass to hit him up with a big boot. Cass, though, believed he should do even more of a beatdown, follow him up with punches, but that idea was shot down by everybody. He reportedly refused to take no for an answer and went directly to Vince with the same request, but again, Vince rejected him. Cass went ahead and did what he wanted to do anyway, and that caused further friction backstage. Feuding with Bryan now is no small feat in itself. That's a position many people would kill for. He's loved by the world. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. And you're guaranteed a main event spot when you're standing across from Daniel Bryan in the ring, because he's going to make you look good. He didn't make Big Cass look good in this case. The match was fucking terrible. So it might come as a surprise why this feud is even continuing after everything that we've seen. Match was bad. He went over everybody's head. He went into business for himself. He wasn't featured on SmackDown Live. He potentially, possibly lost a position in Money in the Bank. We don't know. But Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, revealed that Big Cass is still set to feud with Bryan simply because WWE doesn't want to give us Bryan versus The Miz yet. It's a feud everybody wants, but WWE is in no rush to get us that feud. Good! I don't want to see it yet. There's going to be a time, I said this word for word, there's going to be a time and a place, and more importantly, a reason why The Miz is going to feud with Daniel Bryan. Wait till it happens after he wins Money in the Bank. Wait till he wins Money in the Bank. Then Bryan could potentially be positioned to the world title situation. He doesn't necessarily need to win the title, but having The Miz take the title out from underneath Bryan is all you need on top of everything else that happened between these two. According to Dave Meltzer, he stated, and I quote, "By the way, did you see the story about Big Cass and the mini Daniel Bryan segment? Yeah, what's that all about? It is true. That might be why on TV, Tuesday, Big Cass was not there. He shouldn't have beaten down Daniel Bryan after the match at Backlash. This happened weeks ago. He tapped right away and then beat him down after the match, but then they did nothing on Tuesday. I don't think they want to go the Miz thing that quick, so I guess they're just going to keep it going. Whatever," says Meltzer. Now, while Big Cass might be punished later, the bigger plan still is apparently Bryan versus Miz with no other viable option available. Perhaps it makes complete sense to keep Big Cass in the feud rather than randomly just moving him on with no explanation whatsoever. Or they could even align Big Cass with The Miz. But like I stated, I don't even think that is a viable option in itself at all with The Miz now, because I think The Miz right now is being positioned and looks better than he's ever looked. Coming off the Rollins match and the Hardy match and just winning on his own, it's refreshing to see The Miz on his own. Do I want to see Miz and Daniel Bryan? Yes, but I don't want to get there and rush to it. There's no reason for it now, except for what we got on Talking Smack. There's got to be more of a reason. There's got to be more of a foundation there for them to feud. You know, it's gotta get into the emotional level. And I would love if right now everybody's silent, everybody's doing their thing, Money in the Bank is on everybody's mind. You know, Bryan is doing his own thing, he's going through his own struggles, and he lost to Rusev. Everybody's already complaining now, they're burying Daniel Bryan. What, are you fucking kidding me? You know, this is why I hate wrestling fans. This is why I say wrestling fans are the stupidest fucks walking planet Earth. One week you want Rusev to win, and you think Rusev is getting buried. You want to see Rusev Day be champion, this and that. You want to see Rusev win Money in the Bank. It looks great on Rusev, or it would look great on Rusev. Then you're talking about, oh, Daniel Bryan shouldn't be losing. Believe it or not, the whole gimmick of Daniel Bryan is him being an underdog. How can he be a fucking underdog? And how can we be emotionally invested the way we are in Daniel Bryan if he fucking wins all the time? I knew what they were doing on Tuesday. I was fucking happy with it. I'm the biggest Daniel Bryan mark that there is. Can't win all the time. And I was happy for Rusev. Be happy for the fucking guy. One week we're thinking Rusev's getting buried. One week we're talking about him being released, quitting, right? Going to the Indies. And next thing you know, he's in Money in the Bank. Just leave it as it is, man. I think everybody needs to calm down. People think I'm too high-strung and I complain too much. But I have some fucking sense in my head to know where WWE is going and what they're doing at times. Some of these people are just blind to the fact and they want to jump right on something as it happens with no fucking thinking behind it. Bryan lost because there's a greater story being told there. Don't you want to see Bryan fighting his way back up to the WWE Championship? I don't want to see Daniel Bryan in the main event title picture already, just coming back. Fucking work your way back up there. It's a great fucking story. We need something like that on SmackDown to be invested. We need a reason to watch SmackDown Live. If that's the fucking reason and that's what they're working towards, God bless them. And if the Miz is involved and Bryan gets to that point and then cashes in on that match, wherever Bryan, whenever Bryan fights for the title, that's all the emotional fucking value you need, because Miz is gonna fucking thwart Bryan's attempt to reach the top again, man. It's a great fucking story. Great story. And then you're going to have the story of Bryan chasing The Miz, getting revenge. That's what needs to be told, man. Everybody needs to calm down. But I'm glad we're not getting The Miz yet. Like I said, time, place, and a reason for it to happen. I think it starts after Money in the Bank. As soon as we get to SummerSlam, I think we're going to start seeing more seeds being planted for Bryan and The Miz. So give it time. It's coming. It's going to be the thing that we're going to hang our hats on for SmackDown Live towards the second half of 2018. Just be patient. Speaking of The Miz, I think everybody's respect level for The Miz right now is at an all-time high. And whatever we're seeing with The Miz, I have personally stated, I think this is the best we've ever seen The Miz with, his greatest play, his greatest act is still yet to come. I honestly and genuinely believe that. I'm loving what they're doing with The Miz right now. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. It is so refreshing to see, and I've used that term a lot. It's refreshing to see a heel win on his own merits. You don't need to have the heels win in cheap fashion every single time. Same outcome. Every single time he wrestled on Raw was the same outcome with the Miztourage. Every time Jinder wrestled with the Singh brothers, same outcome. It is so nice to see him win on his own and be a scrappy, claw from behind fucking heel who uses his smarts instead of fucking using cheap heel-like tactics. I don't mind that sometimes, but every time it just waters down the entire act. The Miz was recently on record stating that he's frustrated with how the WWE is booking pay-per-views. So if your respect level for The Miz was high, it's going to be even higher after this. The Miz takes pride in being a champion in WWE regardless of what title he is holding. He wants to do everything in his power to ensure prestige is brought to the title that he currently holds. The Miz isn't a champion right now, as he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania in April. He is now on SmackDown Live, and he just recently challenged Rollins at Backlash for the Intercontinental Championship, and he is now in Money in the Bank. Seems that the A-lister has refocused his sights on becoming the WWE champion and getting back to the top of the mountain. During his current run as a heel, The Miz has impressed wrestling legends and fans alike with his great mic work. Not only that, but despite having an in-ring style that is rather simplistic and safe, he consistently puts on entertaining matches with whomever he's working against. Recently, he and Seth Rollins went one-on-one in Backlash in The Miz's rematch for the IC title. For a pay-per-view that received miserable ratings all across the board, that match was certainly a match of the year standout and literally the only bright spot of that entire pay-per-view. With that being said, Miz now has his eyes locked on the WWE title, currently held by AJ Styles, as he is now in Money in the Bank. He was recently interviewed by Sports Illustrated, and The Miz verbally attacked WWE Champion AJ Styles to lay the foundation for his pursuit for the title. He also made a very interesting comment about how WWE has booked their world title lately. Miz says that it frustrates him personally when the WWE title isn't defended as the main event of a pay-per-view anymore. Miz believes that if he becomes WWE champion again, he'll be able to restore the title's legacy. And this is what he said, and I quote, "My goal is to make the WWE championship as relevant and prestigious as it should be." And he says, and I quote again, "I do think AJ Styles is doing a terrific job as WWE champion, but that WWE championship should be in the main event of every single WWE pay-per-view. It upsets me when I see that it is not. My goal is not only to win Money in the Bank, cash in and become WWE champion. I want to put that title back where it belongs, in the main event." End quote. It's nothing that AJ Styles hasn't done. It's not AJ Styles' fault whatsoever. WWE is to blame here. And The Miz makes it out to be like, well, AJ Styles is doing a great job, but if I have the title, I'm going to make it more prestigious than what AJ Styles is doing with the title. Listen, it doesn't matter who holds the championship. It could be fucking AJ Styles. It could be, Hulk Hogan going back in a fucking time machine, going back in time, and we got 1980s Hulk Hogan on WWE television in 2018, all for the Roman agenda. WWE has literally fucking stepped over everything to try and get this man over. It's not anything that The Miz can do. It's not anything that AJ is doing or isn't doing. It's the fact that WWE, and I've said this many, many times, they put so much effort into getting Roman over, having it fail time and time and time again, that they put little to no effort into everything else. They put all their eggs in one basket. If WWE put this much effort into the majority of their shows, then they would be better off. They have not. They've literally bypassed everything else on that show and made everything else feel unimportant and mediocre for the simple fact that they're pushing Roman Reigns. There was no reason whatsoever why Roman Reigns was in the main event of Backlash. None. It was embarrassing, and it was downright fucking blatant why they put him in the main event. You can't tell me that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura and the way that match ended would have upset the fans any more than Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Yeah, rest hold central, right? You're going to book Roman Reigns to make a comeback after Samoa Joe is pounding him on the ground and submission holds and slowing the match down. You thought that was going to get him cheered, right? No, it ended up working again as a failure. Backwards. People were booing both men after they went into this match with Joe, the overwhelming fan favorite, even though he portrays a heel. Come on, man. The Miz is right in what WWE should be doing. The WWE title. The WWE title. Especially on a show that isn't headlined by Brock Lesnar. Should be in the main event. No questions asked. No questions asked. I don't give a fuck how that AJ Styles Nakamura match ended. I would have much rather seen that in the ending than what we got at Backlash. It wouldn't have made the pay-per-view better. It was still a fucking god-awful embarrassment of a show, but at least the title would have been positioned in the end, in the main event, as the most important. What WWE told you and everybody else is that Roman Reigns is bigger than the WWE Championship. That's why everybody had a fucking problem with it. No man is bigger than the championship. Now, The Miz is not going to bring prestige back to the title. He certainly could try. He could. If he continues on this path, on how he's being portrayed and booked right now, he certainly could. Not more so than AJ Styles, but I need to see the WWE Championship when the time calls for it in situations like that to be main eventing the show. You cannot have one man trump the WWE Championship or be portrayed as more important as the WWE Championship. The Miz is saying what everybody is feeling after Backlash. There's no reason why the WWE title should not be main eventing a show like Backlash. I'm sorry. So, if The Miz is holding the WWE Championship, it's not like he's going to do anything better than AJ Styles. He's going to be in the same position as AJ Styles. If Roman and The Miz as WWE Champion are on the same show, Roman, 10 times out of 10, is going to be in the main event. Because that's what WWE does. They want to continue pushing the Roman failed experiment. Every time. They just don't learn. They will never learn. I hope somewhere this year something snaps and we get what we want. The guy positioned in a way that makes sense on television. The Miz, AJ Styles, Nakamura, anybody is not going to change that. They're not going to change it. Roman will continue to be pushed because Vince McMahon is a demented old man and he just doesn't learn. He is ignorant as ever before. So The Miz, yes, I understand you want to do the right thing, but you don't have the power, my friend. Only Vince McMahon will say yes or no to that, and more than likely it will be, no, Roman Reigns is headlining this show and every show moving forward. Kevin Owens signs a 5-year deal with WWE. Congratulations, I guess, to the man who benched me on social media. During an interview, he revealed he had signed a new 5-year deal with WWE. Owens says that he would like to finish his career with the WWE. At the end of the 5-year deal, he says that he would like to stay with the company if WWE wants to keep him. Of course, he will consult with his family when the time comes. 5 years is a long time. So he's in the midst of a new 5-year deal. Congratulations to Kevin Owens. He says, and I quote, "Hopefully, I do not see why I would not finish my career with WWE. I just recently signed a new 5-year contract with them. I do not intend to go anywhere. If the WWE wants to continue, if I want to continue and my family is ready for me to continue, I do not see why it would not happen. The 5-year deal is a vote of confidence from management because typical deals are 3 years in length. Owens seems to be happy with what he accomplished during his career. He says, if it ends tomorrow, I would be very satisfied with the career I had as a professional wrestler. What's next for him? Apparently tonight he is open challenging Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm assuming that should be a great match, being that we've gotten Seth Rollins matches to be the highlight of most of the shows in the last couple of months. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens should potentially steal Monday Night Raw tonight and at least have one great segment on a 3-hour show. Looking forward to that. I know a lot of people are talking about this open challenge and the fact that Seth Rollins is bringing it back, and it seems like WWE is just hammering down a concept, because they don't have any other creative outlet for guys like Seth Rollins, and they take a creative idea and they just hammer it down and do it over and over and over until it's watered down and it doesn't really seem special anymore. I'm hoping that they continue the open challenge. I've always been a fan of the open challenges, but they definitely have been done a lot in recent memory, and it's to a point now where it's like it's nothing spectacular. I hope this goes on for at least a couple of weeks and then it stops. But it should be used as a platform to build towards, excuse me, to build towards Rollins' next big feud. So whether that's Ambrose or Jason Jordan, I would love to see Rollins just halt it and then continue a major program that's constant for him outside of the open challenge with his next challenger. So I would love it to be Dean Ambrose. That would be great. That would be great, but that remains to be seen. So Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens tonight on Monday Night Raw. One thing I think we could all be in agreement with is that the fact that the Intercontinental Championship, and this is what I've been stating going back to last year's SummerSlam, where I wanted Finn Balor, a babyface, to be the Intercontinental Champion, because I think it's a working man's championship, and the prestige of the title on The Miz was little to none. And I wanted somebody who's going to constantly defend that title to bring up the level of importance that IC title is. And now that it's on Rollins, look at the body of work that he's been doing. Look at the positioning of the title. You know, it's in good hands and it's in good position right now. Being that Brock Lesnar, we might not see him till SummerSlam, WWE has put a lot of spotlight back into the Intercontinental Championship, and it's making it, or they are making it, a title that everybody wants, which is a great, refreshing thing to see. This is exactly why I wanted it on a babyface, for these reasons. And look at what the outcome is. A guy like Rollins or a guy like Balor, they were the guys to do it. Rollins is proving me right, and I'm glad to see the IC title back in prominence on Monday Night Raw, especially on a show where your world champion is nowhere to be found the majority of the year. We talked about Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax at Money in the Bank. Two of Ronda's fellow MMA Horsewomen are now training at the Performance Center. It's official. All members of the Mixed Martial Arts 4 Horsewomen are now in the WWE. Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir have just reported to the WWE's Performance Center last week. The news was confirmed on the WWE website on Monday morning as the company announced that Duke and Shafir will be training at the Performance Center as they hone their wrestling skills in hopes of future exposure in the company's developmental promotion, NXT, or it could be on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live, depending on how far they come down the line. The two women's MMA standouts will be joining contemporaries Ronda Rousey, who signed a deal with WWE ahead of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in January, and Shayna Baszler, who is right now the NXT Women's Champion, also competed in the Mae Young Classic tournament, making the finals against Kairi Sane. As noted by WWE, Jessamyn Duke is best known for her appearance in Season 18 of UFC's The Ultimate Fighter reality series in 2013, where she and Baszler were among the women on then UFC Bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey's team. Her fighter profile on SureDog lists her at 5 feet 11 inches, 136 pounds, with a career record of 3 wins, 5 losses, and a no contest across several MMA promotions. Marina Shafir has less experience in the MMA scene with a career record of 1 win and 2 losses. She already has an existing connection with WWE as she is engaged to Roderick Strong and they have a newborn infant son. The apparent reunion of MMA's 4 Horsewomen in WWE comes close to a year after the real-life friends had a memorable face-off against WWE's own 4 Horsewomen at the Mae Young Classic, where they stared down Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha Banks. Now, I don't know if this is going to be happening. WWE had every intent of making this match become a reality. They exchanged words with the WWE version of the Horsewomen, and the scripted incident sparked rumors at the Mae Young Classic that we were headed for a Survivor Series match. Obviously, that did not happen. In December, Sportskeeda cited Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who wrote that the MMA versus WWE 4 Horsewomen match might not push forward after all, but with Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir now training at the Performance Center, Cage Side Seats speculated last week that this could very well fire up those rumors once again. I'm not really, in the mindset for a 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen feud. I think WWE has bigger and better plans for Ronda Rousey. Going into WrestleMania next year, I think that's where we're headed with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. But the foursome is now complete. Shayna Baszler is making very nice progress in NXT. She's playing her role very well. Ronda Rousey, Jim Ross calling it the greatest WrestleMania, the greatest pro wrestling debut of all time. So she did very well at WrestleMania. I'm hoping for the same success with these two. Hopefully they are just as quick a learner like Baszler and Rousey are. We'll see what happens, man. I'm going to keep monitoring their progress in NXT at the Performance Center, and we'll see where they end up at the end of the year. Finally, guys, we got one more story here, and this is quite surprising. It seems like the old man has some ideas left in the tank. Dolph Ziggler was moved over to Monday Night Raw during the Superstar Shakeup, but he didn't come alone. Clearly, he brought Drew McIntyre along with him, and the two have been a standout act so far since the shakeup on Monday Night Raw. Whose idea was to pair these two together? Turns out that Ziggler and McIntyre was a Vince McMahon idea. Mike Johnson of PW Insider quoted, and I state, "It's a Vince call to personally bring him up." So it was Vince McMahon who made the call to bring Drew McIntyre up. This was not a Triple H idea presenting him to Vince McMahon. This guy's good, let's get him back on the main roster. This was Vince, and I'm told, says Mike Johnson, that the McIntyre-Ziggler combination was a Vince McMahon idea. I'm loving it so far. You know, I'd love to see some tag team gold on them, make them a solid team. What they have to do is the same thing they have to do with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, man. Their introduction is fucking terrible. You see Drew McIntyre come out, and he's standing there, 6'5", 6'6", right? He's got the fucking perfect body. You look at this guy and you see professional wrestler. You look at this guy, you see world champion. And then all of a sudden you hear that fucking record scratch and his music stops and then Ziggler comes out. It's like, come on, dude. Really? We're all enamored and we're all fucking in awe of Drew McIntyre, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and it's like one of those instances where you don't even want to see Dolph Ziggler at that point. You look at Drew McIntyre and you look at Dolph Ziggler, it's like, how much more of a superstar does Drew McIntyre look over Dolph Ziggler? So it's absolutely fucking ass backwards. But I'm loving the pairing. Man. I think they got a good attitude. McIntyre has been very, very vocal in his positioning on Monday Night Raw, being back on Monday Night Raw. You know, staking claim that the locker room has no balls, that everybody got soft. And the combination of them in the ring, they seem like legit badasses. I don't know how well this is going to do for Dolph Ziggler. It may be one of those instances where it's keeping him relevant for the time being. But what happens when McIntyre is not paired with Dolph Ziggler anymore? Dolph Ziggler is going to go back right to the same boat where he was on SmackDown Live. No one giving a shit about him. And then Drew McIntyre is going to go on to eventually be a world champion. Because I don't know how you look at this guy and you don't book him in a world championship title feud or a world championship title reign at the end of the year. I mean, you look at the guy and he fucking bleeds world champion. So I'm loving the pairing right now. Their finishing move looks very pretty when it's done. I want to see these guys succeed. Hopefully I'm wrong on the Ziggler front, you know. But McIntyre is clearly the star of the show here. And I can't wait to see where he goes on Monday Night Raw. But it is a Vince McMahon idea, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. So it looks like the old man still has a few decent ideas left in that demented brain of his. Now, only if we get the Mike Johnson report that Vince McMahon is definitely thinking about turning Roman Reigns heel. Then we'll realize that, you know what, Vince McMahon has come back down to earth and things will be right in the WWE, at least on the Roman front. But that is off the script, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support this weekend. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this weekend. This Friday, I'll be in Queens for House of Glory. We got another event out in the Elks Lodge. I get the pleasure of calling matches with Santana Garrett and Matanza. Jeff Cobb is making his House of Glory debut, man. Should be a great night, so come on out. I accept Guinness as payment, as always. So I hope to see you guys in Queens at the Elks Lodge. HOGWrestling.net for your tickets and information if you guys want to attend the event, if you are going to be in the New York City area, man. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys get your Roman Empire t-shirt now available. Coupon code BSHOP20 on all your orders, man, on barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harrys.com/script. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And I'll see you guys right back here on Friday for episode 222 of Off the Script, man. I'm going to leave you with 49 seconds of fucking guitar playing that I wish I could fucking play. I'd give my left testicle to play as good as this fucking kid. Tony of Condition Critical and Legionary tracking and showcasing the newest guitar solo for Legionary's new song, hopefully being released this coming week, and I'll debut it right here on the podcast, called Badge of honor. This is Tony from Condition Critical and Legionary to close out off the script, man. Sit there in awe, wishing you could play as good as him, and I'll see you guys next week right here on episode 222. I'll talk to you later.